I gave up about 100 times.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mari Mukonda Show on Salam Media. It is 11:31 on this Tuesday, the 20th of September. No, it's not September. The 20th September because that is my birthday. So yeah, I'm still thinking about the 20th September, but it's the 20th of October. So that means that yeah, it's a month anniversary for me. But anyways, as on today's marriage segment, we will be talking about mental health and how mental health has implemented, or rather, how mental health contributes in a marriage, and what you can do to help and support your partner as well. All right, so before we chat to our coach, Sakina Phumelele Dolamo, I have my producer
Our
in studio.
producer.
Yeah, yeah, that guy. Got my producer on with me in studio, Mr. Salailo Makwediri.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
It's
So,
hot.
yeah, it is. I hope it's cooler in the studio, though. Is it?
Yeah, your side is cool. You have your own
Yeah.
personal aircon.
I'm glad. I'm
doing the
glad.
things.
Because we need to be comfortable when we are in the zone.
Yeah.
We can't just be feeling all hot and bothered, especially when we are trying to think. As Ashraf Garda mentioned earlier, that presenters are paid to think. So I need to think about what I'm going to say. And now when I'm thinking about the heat as well, so
It
it's
throws you
just
up.
too much.
Hey, you wanna know
Yeah.
what I actually found out today?
Mhm.
You know Tab, the cold drink?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola is actually taking them out of the shelves.
Oh, okay. Not that it matters
Yeah.
because it tastes like Coke anyways.
I know older people used to like it. I'm not sure about younger people, but it's weird.
To
I
me,
wonder
it's
why.
like tab is similar to iron brew, or
Yeah,
but,
it
but
It has that weird
yeah, yeah.
taste to
to
it.
yeah. So
So
if
if
like
like
Tab was one of your favorites, it's going out of stock. The stock is is finished.
Yeah, no. It is what it is. That hopefully they can bring another product that will be on the same level as their best-selling brands.
there are just too many alternatives now, especially like
Mhm.
I
I
know
know
Tab
Tab was
was supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be
like
like
a healthier option because
Really?
people with diabetes an option for like a Tab
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
a regular Coke. So I think like now with Coke Zero and everything else, they and sugar being reduced on many of
Mm.
their products, like
And the
it,
sugar-free ones and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It didn't
But you
make
know
market sense
what is
anymore.
interesting about those sugar-free stuff? Nutritionists will tell you that the words sugar-free is actually nonsense because
There's
there
sugar.
is actually sugar in there. It's
It,
just mind games. It's
no,
playing with you to
then
tell
they
you
shouldn't be
that
allowed to do that.
it's
It's
false advertising.
true. It's false advertising, but do you think that it's not going to sell? It's selling.
Sure.
People are still buying it on the thinking that no, you know what, it's sugar free or it's 0% sugar, and I don't have to worry about it because
Is there a different kind of sugar, or
I
the
think
sugar is
I
still
think
there?
there
Or,
is different kind of sugar, but when you look at the ingredients, the
yeah.
nutritional table at the back, you will get the composition of what it consists of. So you
Mhm.
you have to look out for those sugar-based ingredients like sucrose
Oh,
and fructose and all of those
yeah.
other
It's
OSAs.
still sugar.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is still a part of sugar, but it's just not written. The word sugar is not there.
Oh,
So
okay.
it kind of is not really false advertising because the word sugar
They
is not
just use an
there, but they
alternative,
used an
a different
alternative.
name to,
Yeah,
because we're not smart people.
it's like xylitol. Xylitol is
What the hell
sweet.
is that?
It's a sweetener.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you
Oh
know
yes,
those little
it's
Yes,
powdery
yes,
almost. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's an option for those people who are looking to be healthier and consume less sugar. But
Okay.
it's a sweetener. So if you are trying to cut down on sugar, but you still want to have something sweet, then you use a sweetener like xylitol.
That does it do the same damage as
I'm
regular sugar to your system?
As far as the damage is concerned, I'm not really sure, but people always recommend that you use
Oh, okay.
xylitol because it's
Maybe we
a
should get
better
one of
option.
our dietitians to explain
Yeah,
this a bit further.
yeah, I think we should do that
Hmm.
so that we can just get some more nutritional information
Yeah.
about xylitol because
Are also natural sugars good alternatives in comparison to? Because I know
mhm,
they like other natural syrups.
Speaking
Honey
about
versus
sugars,
sugar.
I watched a really interesting documentary or movie, and I didn't finish it. I was too tired.
Yeah.
But I think it's called The Sugar Movie.
Mhm.
It's scary, the amount of sugar that we consume on a daily basis and how
What's
much
what's
we're
the
actually
what,
supposed to
what's
eat.
the regulatory normal?
The RDA
Yeah,
recommended daily.
that you maybe you can look that up.
Yeah,
Is
let's
it
look
two
that
two
up.
spoonfuls or something?
Let's look at our normal amount of sugar per adult per day. Let's see how much sugar we're actually supposed to be consuming. Okay, so the maximum amount of added sugars you should eat in a day are 7. That's
Seven
yeah,
spoonfuls or
men
7
150 calories per day. That's 37.5 grams or 9 teaspoons
90 spoons.
per day. That means that the 9 teaspoons would comprise of your sugary drinks that you are drinking, your
I'm pretty
juice,
sure there's more than
your
just
coffee, yeah,
your
and
cake, your
your
pie.
everything. Now, obviously, we are eating more than that.
Way
Our
more, yeah.
amount is more than 3 times the recommended amount,
Sheesh.
which
Scary.
now goes up to extra 60 pounds of weight that we don't want to have.
Okay, speaking of weight.
Yeah, I know everybody gained. Everybody put on those few pounds. We're gonna call them COVID pounds, but anyways, we're gonna get rid of them because gyms are open now, so there's absolutely no excuse.
Summer body.
And summer
This
bodies.
is the time to
and
show off the summer body, not to build it.
yeah, well, who said summer bodies are only made in winter? I say summer bodies are made all year round. And let's keep it at that. Anyways, we do have a coach, Sakina, who is standing by to chat to us about mental health and marriage. Assalamu alaikum, coach.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And how are you?
Alhamdulillah, all good in yourself. I know we were having a bit of technical difficulties, but you are here now and the show must go on.
Yes.
Right. So, mental illness is very hard on a marriage or any relationship for that matter. I mean, the stress can often reach a crisis level. Mental illness does not have to destroy a marriage or partnership, even with the stress that it brings. So, before we can actually talk about the support and the help that you can offer to your partner, we need to understand mental illness, and you need to understand what your partner is going through, and you need to help your partner needs to understand what you are going through if you are the person who is going through that mental illness. So let us go through that, the understanding part. How do you help your partner understand what you're going through, and how do you understand what they are going through?
Okay, at first, thank you, Salam Media, for having me. As a person who is suffering from depression, most people, when they suffer from depression, they don't know. All they just see is the signs. So once you've realized that you're suffering from depression, or it's best to take your spouse with you for 2 or 3 sessions, whereby the counselor or the psychologist can in detail explain what exactly is happening to you and what are the signs that they can look out for, so that they can fully get the idea of what's happening to you. Yeah, that's what I can say.
So, can the stress of marriage cause mental illness? Because I read an article somewhere that some mental illness was actually caused by the stress of marriage. The anxiety of what is to come in the future, perhaps because of situations like infidelity, which causes more anxiety, lack of trust, money issues, financial issues, and there's a whole lot of things that would cause the depression and the anxiety. Is there any truth to that?
It's very true because one of the things that actually lead to mental illnesses is high stressful situations or a high stressful environment. So if that's not any marital challenge is not properly addressed, it can lead to experiencing either anxiety or depression or any other mental illnesses because mental illnesses are triggered by high distressful environments.
So it brings me back to the question earlier: what can we do about that, and how can you support your partner through it all?
I think firstly, it's the marriage expectations. Most of the time, when we look at the things that cause depression in marriage, is like the other partner expects the impossible from one partner, so the other partner might feel that they can't step up and meet those expectations. It can be as well societal pressures, you are told that this is how you should be as a spouse. And if you don't meet those expectations or requirements, you might feel inadequate. And then you start spiraling down into depression because you are not meeting those needs. And as a spouse, you should be looking at yourself that how do you interact with your spouse. Are you constantly putting pressure on them? Are there certain things that are impossible that you're asking from your spouse? Are you constantly worrying them on a certain issue? Sometimes if your spouse loses a job, you don't need to be constantly talking to them about it, that you don't have a job, do something. You don't have a job, do something. Already, if they're a responsible spouse, they're already feeling guilty about not having a job and something perhaps that they can't control. So if you as a spouse are not supportive, then it might lead them to depression, or if there are any other areas in the marriage that they are lacking. So if you are continuously putting them down and not supporting them, it might lead to depression because we know one of the things that add to depression is constantly analyzing your actions, your thoughts and feelings. So the person who's suffering from depression might be constantly telling themselves that I'm inadequate, and then the other spouse keeps on confirming it, that they are inadequate.
I know we need to find a way to exclude society from our marriages. Well, I know that we always refer back to society because, I mean, we're trying to be part of a community. But now, when it comes to your marriage and your personal life and your personal space, I don't think that it's something that we should be getting everyone involved. Like they said, it's not a community project. Your marriage is for you. It's not a community project that everybody needs to get themselves involved in, because it really does play a role on your mental health, and because of all the contributing factors and the triggers. Yeah, hey, you can go crazy. But anyways, how common is mental health? Mental illness rather in a marriage.
According to statistics, about 60% of spouses actually suffer from mental illnesses. But as I said, because of certain marital pressures, one spouse might actually be trying to hide it, and sometimes the other spouse, you are not aware of yourself that you are actually suffering from depression, so you just constantly, you feel tired, you constantly lack interest in your marriage, but you are not aware yourself that actually you are suffering from depression, and actually the other spouse might actually misinterpret your depression as just you are just lazy and you lack interest in the marriage. So they might feel like separating from you because of that. There's no clarity about what you're going through.
And I know that some spouses will also be like, well, just make dua that Allah will grant you peace and just have sabr. I think we need to stop using sabr, patience, as a means for overcoming a problem, because there's more to overcoming a problem than just having patience. You can't just sit and be patient and hope the problem will go away. You need to solve it. You need to work on it. You need to put in the effort. And if you have a partner who is suffering from a mental health issue, then you need to be there to support them throughout the way, because it is also going to contribute to you as the other spouse. And there's going to be a lot of negative effects on there. What do you think about that?
I think most people, they're not aware that depression, it's not just a spiritual problem, because a lot of people attribute depression to lack of faith and lack of spirituality. Depression affects all aspects of who you are. Depression affects you physically, depression affects you mentally, depression affects you spiritually as well. So it's important that when you have a spouse who's suffering from depression, you don't actually make them feel worse, as if they are not believers or they are not faithful enough. That's why they're suffering from depression, because depression can hit you at any time and affect you in any way. It's good to spiritually build yourself up for when depression hits, but it does not mean in any way that you lack faith or you lack spirituality, because spirituality is just one of the factors that depression affects, but it's the whole. You have to look at the whole human system and how it works, and the solution comes from looking at everything holistically than just looking at one aspect that could be affecting you. Because when you look at depression itself, it's a lack of certain hormones that the brain produces. So your serotonins or all your other positive hormones that are produced by the brain, you find that your brain is not producing them naturally. It's a cause of depression. So you might be a very spiritual person, but you still suffer from depression because mentally and physically your body is not producing what it needs to produce. So it's very, very important to look at it from the whole holistic experience.
So that's so true. All right, so we are going to take a quick break, but do stay with us on the line. We'll continue thereafter.
Inshallah.
This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
As the crisis in Yemen continues, 80% of the population are in desperate need of basic necessities. The Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground undertaking emergency relief efforts. Come to the aid of the people of Yemen by donating any amount now towards food, shelter, and medication. Contact AMA now on 011 834 8685. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Dad, well, I've been chatting with an investment broker today and...
Broker? Did the broker tell you that our economy is a mess? There's bushfires in Australia, America wanted World War III, and now the coronavirus is traveling around the world.
Well, I also thought about purchasing some crypto.
Crypto? What's that, like another pyramid scheme? I don't trust what I can't see.
There's an apartment in Belito.
So all your family will be asking to stay there for free. And what if the government takes it away, eh?
Dad, I don't think it works like that.
I'll tell you what works. Gold. At your age, I invested in gold coins and it paid for your university fees and your wedding. No contracts, no agreements. Your investment is in your hands and you own it. With a 70% growth in only 5 years, do you still doubt gold investment? Contact RJ Coin today, 031 202 4701, or visit them at 151 Stephen Lamini Road in Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange, your passport to gold investment.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mara Mkwanda Show on Salam Media. If you have any comments, questions, queries, or suggestions, send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061 766 0355. Alternatively, you can call us in studio on 010-8802-396 and leave your comments in the comment section on Facebook. We are live, and we are talking about mental health and marriage, and how that can affect you. And joining me is Coach Phumelele Sakina, and she is a relationship and parenting coach. Coach, what are the signs that we need to be aware of? I mean, before we can actually talk about supporting and helping our partners, there are some signs that we need to be aware of when it comes to a mental health, whether depression or anxiety or anything else.
Okay, one of the things that you can be aware of is, for example, if your spouse withdraws from their normal activities, things that used to excite them, they no longer find any interest in those things. If they withdraw from people, they no longer interact with their friends, they no longer interact with their family members. If they lose interest at work or they lose focus, they just constantly having fallouts at work, simple things, they can no longer do it properly, or they can no longer focus on their work, always late, either insomnia or oversleeping, lack of appetite or overeating, and always eating, looking for sugary things, because you're looking for anything that's gonna make you happy, so they are constantly maybe eating sugary things, looking for that high, always indecisive, simple things. They can't decide what to wear, they can't decide what to eat, they can't decide where to go. It's always just, you ask the person simple things. It can as well be forgetfulness. They constantly just forgetting everything. Where's that? I don't know. Where's this? Everything is just, the answer is, I don't know. As well, it can be always feeling inadequate. You ask them to do something, they say, no, I don't think I'm capable of doing it. Can you do this? No, I'm not capable of doing that. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. And as well as poor hygiene, this is someone, they're always bathing, but all of a sudden they no longer want to take good care of themselves. They don't care about their personal appearances. They look quite ashy all the time, while, this is someone who always used to look good. So those are the things to just be aware of, in your partner.
So now that you are aware of these issues, how do you raise them in the most kindest way possible? Because you don't want to upset them even further or drive them away even further. You still want them to confide in you and be able to talk to you. Let's say, for example, they don't bath. Are you going to tell them, why are you not bathing? I mean, you always used to bath. Now look at you. You're just ashy and frumpy and dirty. How do you raise this topic in the most kindest way possible?
You can just simply test it out, and just say, can you just go and bath and let's go out, and see how their reaction is. And then you ask them, let's go and enjoy some ice cream. If you can see they constantly say no, or they are constantly crying, they are all constantly looking down, those are the things, then you just have a simple conversation and ask them, how are you feeling, on a day-to-day basis? Do you need any help with something? Just being plain supportive, instead of attacking their actions. You show that you support them in whatever they might be feeling. Then they can easily then open up to you and say, what, I've not been feeling well for a couple of days. And then you can suggest, would you like to see someone and talk to someone about how you are feeling? And then you can take it from there.
And how long should you wait before getting professional help? Like now that you've become aware of the signs and you've addressed it, and how much longer should you wait, or should you go as soon as possible?
No, because sometimes we go through challenges and it can just be a person can show all of these signs, but it can just be just temporary. But if you can see that it's just going on and it's going for a month, 2 months, then you should start worrying and taking some action, towards getting some extra help for your spouse. But if it's just a phase that they are going through, you just provide normal support for them. But if you can see that, no, this is now ongoing for too long, then you should try to get some help for them.
So do relationships fail if mental illness is not dealt with?
Most definitely, many relationships can lead to failure if the mental illness is not properly addressed. Because as a human being, you can't function having a companion who's constantly not participating in the marriage. It's okay not to participate for a month or two, but to live with someone who's constantly not participating or bringing their share to their marriage, it can be a great challenge to the marriage, and actually other marriages can actually lead to their end.
Now, what about if you are in a long distance relationship, you're not living with them, and there is like hardly much interaction or participation from them? How do you determine that?
I think when you will notice it in your everyday communication, a change in the communication, maybe your spouse is more distant, because usually it might just be a physical distance, but usually you are connected through social media, through calls and things like that. But if you see a withdrawal from your spouse, then those are the things you can be aware of, that you're no longer interacting with me the way that you used to. Are there any challenges that you're facing? Are you okay? Just ask those questions just to be aware of what's happening in the other partner's life.
Or they can always just read Fascinating Womanhood. Right. Moving forward, just give us a few tips on how couples can strengthen their marriage through this difficult time of going through mental illness.
Okay. Most of the time, the other partner can try to make the other partner feel good as much as possible without applying pressure or over motivation, because sometimes the other partner can become motivational speakers and actually cause more damage, because the other partner now starts feeling more anxious or more depressed because now they're not meeting, the motivation. So what the other partner can just do is just be there. Maybe can just put on a funny movie, can try and engage in activities, like low impact activities, such as just going out for a walk or going for a jog, like just come, let's go for a jog, just low impact activities whereby the spouse doesn't feel that they have to contribute much, but it can be something that they can participate in, where they can easily participate.
All right. Once again, please share with us your contact details and social media handles.
Okay, on Twitter, Phumelele Sakina, Instagram at Phumelele Sakina, Facebook, Phumelele Sakina Dolamo, and the pages are the present spouse and the present parent.
All right. Shukran so much for your time once again, and for the interesting chat. I hope that our listeners and viewers got some information there that could help them. If not, please leave your comments in the comments section below, or you can send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061 766 0355. Shukran, Coach Phumelele, and Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
That was Coach Phumelele Sakina Dolamo, a relationship and parenting coach, talking to us about marriage and mental health. You probably would not be in a position to offer advice if you have not been through something like that. I'm sitting here and I can't tell you that you need to do this and you need to do that. You need to go see this person, you need to go, because I'm not the professional here. I bring the professionals and hope that we can get professional help from them. Anyways, it is 1 minute past 12. Do stay with us. We will be right back after the break.